Here's how you create a viral sweepstakes. And before I start, just to give you an idea of why you might want to do a viral sweepstakes, it's a great way to incentivize referrals and engagement without having to spend a lot of money. Normally, if you want to incentivize somebody to do something, you have to pay them one-on-one. It's kind of like, if you want to do a pay-per-click campaign, you're paying for everybody who clicks on your links. And if you're doing paid social, you're paying for every engagement and interaction there. With this, you can just buy a few prizes and unlimited engagement referrals can come your way. So it really puts a cap on how much you have to spend to get a lot of people taking the actions that might lead to sales and leads for your company. So here is how you start a viral sweepstakes. The first thing you want to do is go to the campaigns area of your software, and you're going to want to click on Viral Sweepstakes 2.0. This is our newest campaign builder. So if you've used our previous one, then note that there will be some changes here. The first thing it's going to ask you to do is create a title. This title will also appear in the campaign itself, and this is what it will be called when you look for this sweepstakes in your list of campaigns within the campaign grid. So what I'm going to do is grab a pre-written title and paste it over here. Next, it's going to, let's go over here to the right. It's going to automatically default to a 1-month campaign. So the start date will be set to today's date, and the end date will be set 1 month from that. It's very simple to change this using this calendar icon right here, or you can click in here and just change the characters. The number of winners you'll want to decide up front, like how many prizes you want to use. If you're only giving away one prize of each of the different types of prizes you're giving away, then if you have 3 prizes, then you're going to say 3 winners. But this is just a great way of notifying people, both in the rules and in the campaign screens, how many people can possibly win this campaign. It's all about transparency. So we're going to leave this at 1 winner for now, and then I'm going to say campaign description. I'm going to grab a description and paste it over here. All of this was pre-written for me. If you use any kind of AI writer, they usually have a campaign writing service within them. So they're really great at creating campaign ideas, prize ideas. So if you have any sort of AI writer available to you, it probably has a campaign module that can help you. So the campaign description, yes, it will be shown on the actual page itself. So be thoughtful about what you write here. Make it descriptive, but try to keep the text limited to just 1 sentence. People don't like to read with these. They really just want that prize. So the prize, now that we're here, there's a couple things you could do to help come up with ideas for prizes. One is, an AI writer or a system like ChatGPT can come up with some ideas for you. We prefer to keep the prizes something that you already sell or a service that you offer. But this wizard can help walk you through what prize you should offer. So I encourage you to go through the wizard to get some ideas as well. What I'm going to do is grab something that the AI writer came up with for us, and I'm going to paste in the name of the prize. This is just a short name. And to the right, this is a lengthier description. So this can be 1, maybe 2 sentences, but again, try to keep it relatively short. Keep it within this if you can. If you need to go over a little, that's okay. You can add up to 10 prizes. So let's just start adding prizes. I'm just going to add 1 image per prize. But like I said, you can add up to 10 images per prize. And you can add 10 prizes. So let's add another prize by clicking the link here. And the second place winner will get a 7-day. And here's a description for that, and let's give them a prize image from our gallery. I'm going to add a 3rd prize here. 3rd prize is really, 3 prizes is really the sweet spot. And you'll see when we start designing the campaign, it looks really beautiful when you have 3 prizes to offer. It just looks really substantial. And I think I just added a duplicate prize. Let's use this one instead. We haven't used this one yet. That's unique. And it shows you the file name right here of your images, so you can check and see that it's not something you've already used. Once you've created all of your prizes, you're going to go down to the How to Earn Entry section. And what this is this is how you incentivize people to take action. By default, it's already going to give them one entry if somebody submits the sweepstakes form. So just by entering, they get an entry. But what you can do is add bonus entry challenges, and this allows you to get that free incentivized action. Think of all the actions that you want people to take for this sweepstakes. It could be just a single event that you're trying to promote, or this could be a general sweepstakes that you're sending to your existing audience via email, and you want to help them help you spread the word about your company and share links back to your socials and back to your website. And you want to incentivize these people to do that. So just be thoughtful about which bonus entries you're asking people to do. And there's really no limit. You could have 20 different bonus entry challenges in here. So, but by default, we ask them to refer a friend. And if the friend joins the sweepstakes, they get 20 entries. This is a great way to get some virality, where you might get one influential customer of yours who enters your sweepstakes, shares it on their social networks, and we make it very easy for them to share. And now they might have 50 different people that enter the sweepstakes. They've earned a much better chance of winning the sweepstakes, and the friends also have an opportunity to do that. So to add additional ones, you're going to click here. These are categorized by what you are trying to promote. So if you are trying to expand your Twitter network, for example, you might say, follow us on Twitter. And all you need to enter here is your Twitter profile URL. So that might be, for example, and this is Royal Caribbean is what we're doing for this demo. Royal Caribbean Cruises. So that's all you have to do. If you ever need to edit in the future, there's an edit button here that brings everything back. If you want to choose less than 50 entries, that's pretty generous. It doesn't cost you anything to make this 5,000 entries because it doesn't detract from your total campaign entries for whatever plan you're on. And also these entries don't have any kind of monetary correlation with what you have to award out. It only increases their chance at winning compared to other people who have entered who have fewer entries overall. So anyway, once you make this change, and I'll show you right here, I can change this to 30, and then you just click update. There's other changes or other bonuses that you can add, things like uploading a video and uploading a photo. You can even do Spotify, TikTok, Twitch, but these are interesting. Like you can incentivize some reviews. If you sell a product or anything that has Yelp reviews or Google reviews or Amazon reviews attached to them, why not incentivize those? Over here is for some others, and that is visit a page. So this one's very popular if you're trying to drive traffic to your website, or maybe you have some special offer page that you want to drive people to. Here's a great way to incentivize people to go and visit that page. Also, there's a bonus entry code that you can use here, and that will allow you to share with a select group of people a code that they can enter to unlock additional entries. And that's really fun if you have kind of an ongoing thing. It's like, hey, every Tuesday, check our Facebook page because we're going to be posting a bonus entry code to Facebook. Very creative way to get more engagement. And you can also create a custom challenge. The custom challenge will ask you a series of questions and help you create that totally bespoke challenge that helps you incentivize virtually anything. I'm going to expand the advanced settings. This is not necessary, but I'm going to go through it just so you know what they are. Maximum earned entries per participant. Leave that standard if I were you. It is basically leave it unlimited because you don't want to cap how many bonus entries that people can earn. Don't worry, it's still only going to allow them to enter one time. It's only going to limit how many bonus entries they get. Duplicate reward, referral visitor entry blocking. I would leave this as standard. Winner selection frequency. So I'm going to check this because this one's very interesting. You can make this an evergreen campaign, whereas right now it is set to be just a one and done. After 30 days, it's over and there's one selection of a winner. But what you can do is have this be a recurring campaign so you're not having to set this up every month. So, what if you want this to be something that you just add to your permanent marketing and it's always running and it starts itself again after a month? You can do that. And it's not just a month. You could make this a daily payout. You can make this something where you award weekly, every 2 weeks. There's a lot of different options here and also per month. And what will happen at the end of the month is, or whatever the period you select, at the end of the period, it will send you an email letting you know, okay, it's time to choose a winner. And you can go to the sweepstakes console, and each one of these bonus entry or winner selection periods are going to be represented in that console. So you'll be able to make different selections for every single time, and it's extremely convenient. So I encourage you guys to try a weekly or a monthly contest. For this one, I'm going to keep it only one time per campaign. Company name, this is a tutorial, so this is a good opportunity for me to change the name to Royal Caribbean Cruises. And I'm going to update this. Rules and disclaimers. We automatically generate rules for you, which you can edit. So just click edit if you want to change them, but we automatically drop in the name of the sweepstakes that you entered above in the first step, and all of the sweepstakes periods, everything like that is all entered into your rules. It saves you a lot of time. I do recommend running this by your legal department the first time you run it, so they can just rubber stamp it and tell you everything's okay or make small changes. Then you know what to do for next time. Entry form, by default, we use Facebook, or they're allowed to enter a name and an email. Or you can force them to sign up using Facebook only, or you can create a custom form, which allows you to create your own form with custom fields. You might want to ask them questions like, when are you planning on going on your next cruise? And you can have never, 0 to 2 months, 3 to 6 months, that type of a thing, and gather information on these leads to pass to your sales team or your email automation platform. So creating custom forms is really fun. It's a drag and drop editor. It makes it really simple to do. List integration. You can integrate the campaign with your CRM or your email service provider like MailChimp, for example. Just hover over this and select whatever the provider is, and then you'll be able to select which list within that service you want all of these new entries, these new signups to be dropped into. Email notifications can be customized, but we already have really good default notifications. You can have it rain confetti when they enter and earn bonus entries. And notice how in plain English we tell you what the current selection is. So you don't have to go through each one the way I've been doing it. You can just read down these the lighter gray, and just say, okay, no list integration, that's fine. Upon entry, we will send a thank you email. That's perfect. So you can just kind of go through and review our default selections, because these are based on years of running these sweepstakes, and we always use best practices as the default. So you probably won't change any of these. So instead of opening every one, I encourage you to just read these plain English descriptions of how it is currently set. And if you see something you don't like, then you can click the edit button and change it. So for example, this includes a leaderboard. Well, you probably want to do that, but if you didn't, you can very quickly go in and change that. When the campaign ends, we have a default message we already display. You can change this easily though. The page share preview has already been generated for you, but if you want, you can click here. And just so you know, the grand prize image is used as the preview image. And where all of this appears is, let's say that you share this campaign to Facebook, and people who are entering are sharing it to Facebook as well. This is the image and the title and the description that will appear within their social feeds, or yours if you're the one that's doing the sharing. So it's very important to get this right. That's why we have used the title of the campaign and the description of the campaign already populated in here, so you don't have to do anything. If you want to change the image or any of this, you can, but it's not necessary. The microsite favicon, that's that tiny little logo that appears at the very top of the screen. It doesn't even have a favicon by default, but you can very easily add your image, like your logo, for example, is typically used. Language, you can change the language. By default it's English, but as you can see, you can change to a whole number of different languages here. Just click this and select from the drop-down list, and as you can see, you've got like all of these different places where you can selectively make changes here to the existing alert copy that's in the campaigns themselves. So you can either translate all, or you can specifically do just one. Like if I don't like the words deadline for referrals, I can check here and change this to deadline to refer your friends. And now wherever that appears in the campaign, which it does, it will change it to this. So it's also a place where you can kind of customize the text, not necessarily do the translation to another language, but just customize the text. And then click Save when you're done. Without further ado, I'm going to click Save and Continue and let it design this campaign for us. Yeah. Great. Now notice that it already dropped in our Royal Caribbean logo, and that's because we have this logo already in our logos folder. But I can very easily change this anytime I want. And it already dropped in all of our prizes, grand prize, second prize, third prize. And as you hover, you can see the description. So everything looks really good. It already dropped in the title of the campaign and the description, so that part looks really good. So I could just launch this right now if I wanted to. It looks fantastic, but what I'm going to do instead is let's go explore some of the other themes. The first thing I like to do is go and check out the theme gallery. The first set of themes is really surrounding industries. So you might want to select your industry, and that's probably all you need to do. Like this one is travel, which is great. But there's other themes as well. If you just want a really pretty look, there's starburst kinds of looks. I'm going to go back to travel though for this particular demo. And of course you can view both of the screens just to preview it. And then when you're done, click here. And I have decided to use this theme, so I'm going to click this and I'm going to agree, because this is going to overwrite all of my background settings and even the color settings. Just watch how it transforms this campaign. So now we've got the yellow accents and it's got a different background with more of a travel look. I love it. It looks really great. The next thing I'm going to want to do is go check out the branding. So if you are a client, or if you are doing this on behalf of a client, most companies have brand guidelines, and those brand guidelines include what color to use for headings and what font to use, what color for subheadings and what font. So you can just go down this and set this to your brand settings, and it will automatically change that everywhere where text appears, or in some other places in the campaign. It's going to make those changes automatically for you. There's multiple buttons in this campaign, so these buttons will change everywhere. So that makes it really convenient. And if you make a mistake or don't like the way you changed it, you can always reset back to your current theme. In this case, it's the travel theme. If you want to change the logo, you can click here, and it brings up your logos folder. And if you can have multiple logos here for different purposes. You might have a horizontal version of your logo, a vertical version of your logo, a square version. So you can, have different logos to suit whatever the positioning is that you want. And what's also great is we have another section here for the layout. It's really easy to change the overall layout of this. We predetermine your layout based on what you selected in the settings. So because we had multiple prizes, we selected the multi-column layout because it looks a little better having these three down the side, but I could very easily change to something different like this one. Now it's only going to show the prize across the top, and center everything below it. It's really just your personal preference. And notice how down here, if I chose this, it would remove this heading up here. But I don't want to do that. I really like the heading up there, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go back to this because I love it. And notice how this shrunk up. Having it set to 3 is very easy to change. You can have it show 2, and you can have it show 3. So it's totally up to you, and you can even make these auto scroll if you have multiple images per prize. Now let's take a look at the background. It's very simple to change out that background image and the colors and even the corner radius, like up here, for example, you can change very easily. The overlay is basically a film that we lay over the entire campaign. So watch what happens if I change the opacity from 20 to 70. It's really going to apply this white. Now you can barely see the image. So let's go back to 20, and you'll just need to kind of add this to your taste. These are more of the global settings. That's why I like to start on the right. And then I move over to the elements. This is a list of elements that you can add to the campaign by dragging and dropping. So when you hover over an element, it shows you, see the blue pulsing lights or lines over on the right side? It's showing me where I can drop this particular type of element. So if I want to add an image or if I want to add text, I can simply drag it over. For example, I want to add an icon over here between sweepstakes and the description. So now that this is open, I can choose an icon. So I'm going to choose ship. I like the two-tone ones, so I'm going to grab one of these two-tone ships, and then I'm going to make it larger. So let's just say gray is a little boring, and I want it to stand out a little more. What I can do is click on the secondary color, and notice what appears down here. Not only can I select using the color selector, but it's showing me what all of my brand colors are. This allows me to ensure that I'm staying really closely tied to what the company's brand guidelines are. Because remember, we set that up in the branding step earlier. So I'm going to choose this, and I think that looks a little better. Now, I'm noticing that I don't love the spacing of this particular icon. So what we've done is we've made it really easy to change the padding. So you can just kind of drag it. We've got these handles here that allow us to drag to just get that spacing just right. So it's really simple to do. If you are changing your logo, for example, you can hover over. This is an image element. So I'm going to make that a little bit larger just by dragging to the right. And again, I can change my padding right here. So this looks fantastic. Timer, just to go through some of the elements. The timer you can drag over anywhere you want, but we already include a timer, and you can edit anything by going to the flag. They all have flags. You can either duplicate using this copy, you can delete them, or click settings. So I noticed that this is purple. I'd rather it be a little more brand compliant, so I'm going to choose that color. So it's very easy to make changes to elements and add new elements. If I wanted to add an additional timer, I could very easily do that by dragging the timer up here. I can add videos by dragging them over, and prizes. So I can remove all of these prizes by clicking delete, and that would remove them from here. And then if I ever wanted to add them back, that's what this is for. Just drag this anywhere over here, and it's going to add the prizes back. I'm going to show you the thank you screen now. So this is how it looks in the thank you screen. Already I see that I'd like this to be a little larger. I'm going to jump in here and change that icon secondary color to be a little bit closer to my brand colors. Perfect. Very simple. And if you want to change text, just click in here and type. Everything is drag and drop and point and click. So as you can see, we've got the prizes kind of collapsed over here that you can scroll through to see all of the prizes. We can remove this if you wish, and that would just drive up this leaderboard. There are many changes you can make to the leaderboard just by clicking on settings. So I just encourage you to go through, and if you see anything that you don't like, just click on it and make your changes. You can hide these, change the colors, and really customize them the way you like. So remember we created that follow us on Twitter challenge. So this is what the bonus challenges will look like. And remember we changed it to 30 entries. It's automatically going to do this for you. And just hover over things if you want to change them. If you don't like the word entries, you can just click this and edit that and change it to some other word. And if you like the way everything looks, you can preview it if you wish. You can undo any mistakes you made to a previous version and redo. You can save, even though it automatically saves. You can click the save button just to make sure, if you need to go in the other room for a while, I would save your changes for sure. You can import from other campaigns you've already created and kind of use them as a template. That way all you're doing is kind of making modifications to what you'd previously done versus starting over from scratch. And finally, there's page settings. I'm going to click this just because there's some really cool options in here. If it's a private campaign that you don't want anybody outside of, let's say, a certain group of people to see, you can block it from search engine indexing. And you can also add tracking and retargeting tags to the two different screens of your campaign. So for example, if you want to follow people around on Facebook who don't enter your campaign, but they visit the campaign, then you would choose to add that retargeting pixel only to the campaign screens. And you probably want to add a separate one here, but when you set it up in Facebook, make sure you let them know, okay, I only want people that triggered here, but don't show people if it also triggered here. So there's all sorts of strategies for this. And if you're an advanced user, just use the CSS here. Just find out the element ID, and you can add your own CSS to override anything that there's no control for. But mostly you can customize this a lot of different ways without having to use anything custom. You shouldn't have to know programming in order to make this look just beautiful. So once this looks good to you, you can move on to the promote step. And this makes things simple to promote and get your campaign out there. I'm going to copy a link to it. So what this does is just grabs the URL, the link to this actual campaign that you can promote however you want. QR code for signs, you can download that QR code and it will take people to the entry page. You can email your list with our template. So what we do is we generate an email for you based on all the information you entered. You can download the HTML here or just kind of copy the text. You can embed the campaign on your website like an iframe. So we create all of the iframe code for you. You can place a button on your website that launches the campaign in a slide-in. You can place a sticky tab on your website that kind of remains on the right side even as people scroll that says, cruise giveaway. And if they click that, it will slide in your competition. You can place a pop-up on your website that appears, X number of seconds after they enter the site, and then it automatically will pop up. You can also make it so if they attempt to leave your website, it will then pop up and say, hey, before you leave, enter our giveaway. It's a great way to capture people who are about to abandon your website. Publish to your social media feeds. Click this button and it will open the publisher and pre-populate this particular campaign, all ready to add to your social networks. If you have any questions, just reach out to our support team. Thank you.